Hello, Culture Matters podcast. We are back with 30 Days of Thought. We're talking about Exhaustion 101. Why is this process valuable? Because when I read, I'm not only gaining new information, the information that I've been using to form my habits, to form my behaviors, and as a consequence, to attract people in my life that make my life either better or worse, is a consequence of what I've come to know. The information that I have. So the information that I have in my life is being challenged with new information. I'm gaining new information. Reading is a pathway to do that because I'm thinking. I'm reevaluating points. I'm reevaluating past decisions. Writing helps clarify those, helps clarify and cut through. Writing is a way of a form of thinking. So we're talking about reading to think, writing to develop, writing to become more clear in my thought, more clear in my planning. I've gotten so much personal value from feeling confident in my ability to write something as simple as an email. Uh, my productivity's increased from just literally sending a recap of a conversation and maybe adding a few questions and having a deeper dialogue because I'm more confident in my ability to write and speak clearly in the written form. So we're reading to think, we're writing to develop. We're listening to hear what is unsaid. Because when I look at my thoughts today that we're going to talk about from page 52 of Exhaustion 101 and 30 Days of Thought, when I look at my thoughts from all those years ago, from 2019 when I wrote this, I can actually reflect upon who I was then and weigh that to who I am now and see how much I've grown. Do I still agree with these propositions? Do I see things? What do I see today that I might have missed then? Or what can I be reminded of that I knew then that I might have forgotten? And then speaking to let go. I'm sharing with you what I think, which is helping me gain more confidence in my oratorical ability. And leadership is a consequence of being having a vision, being able to articulate that vision, having the values to act out that vision, because the people that follow me are going to be seeing what I do, not just what I say. And what I do is has a relationship with what I actually believe, what I actually think. And so speaking and sharing these thoughts helps me be challenged in my thinking by you listening carefully and seeing, are my actions in congruence with what I think, or what I'm saying. So reading to think, writing to develop. Well, here we go. We're going to talk about Exhaustion 101. Feel a bit exhausted from that explanation. Exhaustion 101, page 52. My eyelids grow heavy and my pen drifts slowly. Each motion weighs heavy as if I am not mentally prepared for my usual routine to pour out my heart and convey my powerful message of wisdom and of power. My hand starts to quiver as each moment passes, and my usual tone will get lost in the masses. It seems I am so exhausted that I am even starting to rhyme. Shutdown mode. You must get rest. You must reboot your brain. I believe that from the moment I was born, it has been instilled in me that without mental fortitude, all days of life would be taken. When it comes to exhaustion, that thought can be skewed, and we cannot have that. We cannot ever deliver an unclear message. It is not fair to use, it is not fair to us. Yeah, it is not fair to us, and it is not fair to our audience. That's funny because I can't even read this right now. We cannot even deliver an unclear message. It is not fair to us, and it is not fair to our audience. However, commitment mixed with exhaustion is a strange and funny thing. Although exhaustion has set in and honest frustration has compounded, I have committed to writing and I will be completely uniting. I am tying together this script and these scripts of what I believe is the deliverable message for you my readers to help, coach, teach, and explain that projects must get completed. Sleep must not be taken for granted. Do not allow exhaustion to become an uncompleted mission, because those missions are going to change lives. Until next time, good night. Here are some of my thoughts. Sometimes it can be so difficult to continue due to exhaustion. You know, but we have to. If we're the person that is accountable, that means that the buck stops with us. If it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. Now, if I'm the entrepreneur, I'm the founder, that's literally true, because there's no one else that will be accountable on the level that the ownership is accountable for. And when ownership are not accountable, when ownership are irresponsible, the culture responds to that and becomes disengaged and out of alignment. And it's no wonder that people start falling into distraction, people that work for organizations, because oftentimes the founders of the organization, the leaders of the organization, the people with power, influence, and authority are entitled not to actually be responsible, not to actually raise the bar, not to actually show up and get things done. And their people lose faith in them, their people lose trust in them, and their people lose momentum in their lives. Now, maybe you're not a founder, maybe you're an employee, and maybe you're one of those people, and maybe you're exhausted and burnt out and you feel like there's nothing more you can do, like, or are willing to do. And I'm just going to challenge you and say, do it for you, do it for your family, do it for your own goals, do it for your own vision. Recalibrate your life and come up with a strategy. Maybe it's an exit strategy. Maybe you're going to leave that company. Maybe you're going to get that new customer. But while you're there, give it your all and do it because of your own spirit. Do it because of your own value system. Do it because it's going to make you better, to sacrifice, to be able to respond to things that are out of your control and to show up anyway. So that's one thought, exhaustion 101. We could be exhausted for different reasons. I remember being exhausted writing this and just thinking, I got to get this done. So, I hear it. You must get rest. You must reboot your brain. I believe that from the moment I was born, it has been instilled in me that without mental fortitude, all days of life would be taken. So here's another thought. When resources are abundant, we have the entitlements necessary not to push ourselves very far. Don't let the resources that you now have acquired undermine the reasons that got you started, because resources can undermine resourcefulness. Resources can lead us to be lazy, to lose focus, to lose faith. It's like, why am I actually doing this business? What is actually driving me? Am I ambitious outside of a desire for something outside of myself? Am I called to my work? Do I have a calling? I don't think the business is going to self-sustain and grow to the next level if the person at the helm of it is entitled and sloth-like and waiting for other people to do what they have to do, what they're expected to do. And so it's interesting. The paradox of exhaustion is, I think we'll be more exhausted the less responsible we are, the less we can push through. Once, it's almost like when you're running. Yeah, you're running, you get the runner's high, but before that, you're like, I can't run any longer. I'm challenging you in this episode of 30 Days of Thought to think about pushing yourself through that exhaustion to get that runner's high. And then you won't be exhausted. You're going to tap into something deeper that's of a more significance and purpose. And it's going to actually lead to a level of meaning that is unquantifiable and totally makes the process worth every single second of it. And if that's just not who you are, find that leader to follow. So here's another thought. When in doubt, do take action. When in doubt, do take action. Don't start a business that you can't finish. And that's where I'll leave you today. Don't start a business that you can't finish. Don't start a job that you're unwilling to show up for. Don't let other people letting you down, let yourself down. Do what you can to articulate a vision of what you want, clarify what you don't want, discipline yourself to act in accordance with your goal and show up and keep reading to think, writing to develop, speaking to let go. And we will see you next time on the Culture Matters podcast.